Hi everyone. I just wanted to start by wishing everyone a happy new year. Happy new year. This is my first video of the year, and I wanted to kick off the year with the topic of relationships, because I noticed that over the years, a question that I haven't really addressed, but a lot of people have been asking me, is how do you make it work? Like how have Danny and I stayed married for so many years? We've been married 27 years. We still talk to each other. And people ask often, like, how do you make it work? And how do you keep the marriage alive? And how do you two get along so well? And so on. And I realized that I've never really addressed this in a video. So I'm going to address that today, now in this video. But also, I'm not going to do it alone. I'm going to ask Danny to join me. Boo, why don't you join me for this video? He knew I was going to ask him to join it. So
My
it's
God,
not
what an impromptu invitation.
You knew I was going to.
That was such an impromptu invitation. I was just sitting there, you know, drinking my...
What were you drinking?
Drinking my... what's a politically correct thing for me to drink in the 21st century? A rooibos tea with...
Be honest. This is an honest video. You were probably drinking a Dr. Pepper or a Pepsi or something. Are we allowed to mention brands?
No, well, it was actually a root beer float. But
well,
anyway,
there you go.
There we go.
Okay.
Yes.
It was actually probably a coffee or something. But so how should we?
Do you put up with this all the time?
They do.
They do, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
I remember the last time I was here, they all booed me off.
They did not.
Oh,
that's your name, Boo. So
yeah, that's true.
So how should we? Oh, and I will welcome questions as well. And the wonderful Abby is behind the scenes. She's behind the camera, or technically she's behind my iPhone. And she will shout out your questions. Please keep the questions on topic to do with relationships. We can go in any direction. We can talk about the spiritual connection, or like pretty much anything.
I have a question.
What's your question?
And it's to do with relationships.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead. Are you cooking dinner this evening, or am I?
Oh, that's a great question. It depends. Oh, today's Friday. We're actually going out for dinner tonight.
Ooh.
With our friends.
Ooh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I
Okay.
retract my question. Your turn.
So what do you think is the secret of us actually still, you know, not only being together, but still having fun together and laughing? And maybe laughing is one of the secrets. We laugh a lot.
Well, I like to think that we laugh a lot, but you seem to do more laughing than I do.
That's because you're funny. You make me laugh. You're more funny than me. I'm not as funny.
Ah, right. Okay. As in, like, funny in the head, or
that too, but I mean humorous. Humor is funny.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh wow, we got a comment here. They've been married for 50 years last December.
Ooh,
so
congratulations!
Congratulations.
We've got a little bit of catching up to do.
Yeah, we're 27 years in December.
And what's your secret to staying together?
Yeah, we got to find that out.
Yeah, we're going to find that out.
But then we have another couple people asking, going fast now, but they're saying, number one, oh, of course you guys work together. You have the same sense of humor, but I think there's a lot more differences in the two of you than there are similarities. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. That we are... No.
No. No.
We have a lot of differences.
Yes, dear. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Okay, that's the key to a happy marriage. So some of the differences, I'll kick off and you tell me some other differences. You're going to say we have no differences.
No, none.
So a typical breakfast, for example.
Oh, breakfast, yes.
Your typical breakfast would be something like eggs and sausage and toast and a big mug of coffee.
And a grilled tomato.
And a grilled tomato.
Yeah.
My typical breakfast would be a nice ripe avocado with feta cheese on a nicely buttered, warm rye bread. And that would be yummy.
What happened to half-inch thick white toast?
And I would probably drink a rooibos tea with almond milk. That's what I would drink while you drink your coffee.
With real milk.
With real milk, yeah, real whole milk. So completely different food tastes. For dinner, well, generally, proportionately, I like to have lots of vegetables. He likes to have lots of protein and starch. I like lots of vegetables, less protein, and even less starch.
Technically, that means I must be British.
I think so.
Yeah, like meat and potatoes.
And his choice of dinner would be meat and potatoes or steak and potatoes. My choice of dinner would be something more Asian, like I would love a coconut-based curry, maybe with shrimp or fish and lots of veggies, and on a bed of either basmati rice or quinoa or millet as alternatives. So yeah, so different tastes that way. But we make it work. We make it work because he loves the food I eat. And he loves my cooking, and I actually really love his cooking, and he tailors it to my needs. And sometimes he will cook the protein, and I'll cook the veggies, and I'll flavor the veggies the way I like.
So I actually heard a really important thing there. You're like, he knows what I like, and he'll tailor it to my needs. So it's knowing that your partner is different from you, but respecting it and making it work is kind of...
Yes, we respect each other. We don't judge each other. That's a big one. Okay, so that I'd say that's number one. We don't judge each other for our differences at all. We accept that I accept that these are the foods he loves, and he accepts these are the foods I love, and we both make it work. We accommodate each other, and we make it work. So that's number one. Number two. So okay, this is a big-ish difference that could be the one that really could get us arguing, but we're aware of it. So awareness is the key. Awareness of what your differences are if you really want to get along. So this is the biggest difference I see, is that he is the person who will find the flaws in everything, like say in any project we're doing, and we work together. So this is important because we work together whenever I'm doing a project, whenever I'm saying, hey, I got this idea and I want to do this with this person, or I want to do this thing, or I want to do this event, or whatever. He will be the one who will poke all the holes in the project before we even start. And he will find everything that could possibly go wrong. Now, for me, that can be quite disheartening. I'm the one that always sees what's right in everything, and I will always see the best in everything and the good in everyone. So that's the biggest difference we have. But I've learned to actually appreciate that that he is able to iron out the problems even before we face them. So, but sometimes what happens is where we fall into a little bit of a disagreement is when I feel that if he's going to only find the holes, I feel that if that's all you're focused on, that's kind of what the energy you're going to attract to you. So I will tell him, please stop focusing on all the negatives and the downside of this, because I really want to do it. And I don't want to just focus on the downside, because that's what I'll end up manifesting. And he will see, and then he'll kind of go, okay, you have a point. As long as you're aware of these things, let's make the best of it and do it. So on the other side of it, I also will say to him, oftentimes, thanks for finding all those things that could possibly go wrong. It helps me. But having said that, there are times when it can spiral a little bit into a discussion that could turn into an argument. But what I've noticed we're both really good at is if it looks like it's going to turn into an escalated argument, either one or the other one of us will pause and we'll just go, just remember I love you. And then we both start smiling and laughing, and then we just continue it as a conversation, which I think is quite sweet.
That's a good tactic. So there are a couple people actually asking, how do you handle things like anger or jealousy, or if your partner does do something to hurt you? Like, how do you guys get through that?
Well, that's a good question. Do you have anything to say before I jump in? I'm doing all the talking, as always.
Apologize.
Ooh, easy. Yeah, he's very good about apologizing. I think we both are.
I'm really bad at that. That's my thing I need to work on.
Oh, really? Okay. We actually tell each other that all the time that I hate being mad at you, and I'll say I really hate being upset at you, and he'll say, yeah, me too, and And every time if it looks, and it doesn't happen often, it's so rare that it even escalates to where we need to say, just remember I love you, and then smile, and then, or even where we need to apologize. But he once said to me, and this was really funny, this was a time when I was really hurt, and this is so many years ago that I don't even remember what it was that hurt me. And I said to him, how could you say that? How could you do that? That really, really hurt. And I think I was crying. I was in tears. And so he was like hugging me and saying that, but darling, you know that I always do what you want me to do, and I'll always say what you want me to say. So if I said something to hurt you, you must have given me the wrong instructions. I can see how he's shaking her head.
Is that an apology for someone who's like, I'm really good at apologizing? Yeah.
He did follow it up with an apology.
Okay.
He does say, I'm so sorry. He says it easily. And I do too.
But it's also, then it comes into that whole thing where it's like, the people in your life are mirrors of you. So it's like, what are you putting out? And maybe the thing that they offended you with is actually like what the energy you're putting out, and they're reflecting. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Makes
Yes.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for.
Yeah.
I think you should hire this one.
And someone actually said, they said, if Danny's pointing out negatives in a situation to protect you from them, he's doing it out of love. So that's actually a really wonderful
yes,
thing to be doing.
because some occasionally when that does escalate, when I say, like, will you quit poking holes, or if I feel frustrated because I want to do this and he's like discouraging me, he actually will say, he'll say, you have said something along the lines of, but I don't know what to say. I see this, and you do say that it's because you're protecting me, or you don't know how to. I say, I just want you to support me, and you go, but this is the way I'm supporting you. I don't know how to support you.
Yeah.
You know, and it seems like what I'm doing is wrong, and so that is the way you support me.
True.
It's true.
True.
Very good. Good
Observation.
point. Good observation.
Another question is, where do we find more Dannys in the world?
Oh, you don't want to find them. God, in God's infinite wisdom, told me that the mold was broken after I came out of the mold because of that.
Thank God for that.
Yeah. Heaven help the universe. They don't need another one.
One and done. One and done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? It was one mistake that didn't need to be
repeated. But also, Danny is extremely like
weird.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, okay. Strange, unusual.
All of those things.
Off the wall.
Very. I want to say
follically challenged.
That too, but very strong. But strong is it's great. We're both strong. You can be fiery. That's it.
Yeah, highly effervescent. It's very, very much a trait of, you see something that's going wrong, you blow up, and okay, all right. So you have two choices in life, I believe. Either keep it bottled up and let it stay and fester and manifest as something particularly unpleasant, or maybe somewhere down the road you find yourselves having to take out and vent the frustration at somebody who quite possibly doesn't deserve it or is incapable of defending themselves from it.
Yeah.
Or you just blow up on the spot, right? Let everything diffuse and carry on with life. I try to fall into that category of just boom and
it's done
and move on.
Yeah, he blows up on the spot, but you don't hold grudges. That's the other thing.
There's no point in holding a resentment.
Yeah. He doesn't resent or grudge, but he does blow up on the spot when something is really irksome, and he'll say things that the person will be like really taken aback, and so sometimes people are scared or intimidated by him.
But then it does give people the opportunity to instantly reflect on what's going on and perhaps consider an alternative to what it is that they're saying, doing, delivering, being, acting like. You know, it entirely puts the onus on them. It's like, here, I've noticed this. I'm not going to mince words.
And he doesn't mince words.
It's your choice.
Yeah, you don't mince words. You tell it like it is.
Indeed.
He is extremely honest in that way. Doesn't hide his feelings. So But
I don't think I've ever been on one of these forum type things, you know, where I've hidden behind a false identity, a moniker.
no, you always use your real identity.
I use my
You
real
don't care.
name, and whether it be positive or negative, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
I said it. So
You-
you know, many years ago, I realized that if you're going to do something, if you're going to say something, you know, take a head on the block type of approach. You know, stand by what you say, and you know, let the chips fall away. You know, if you've done something and it works wonderful, take the kudos, and if you've done something and it works horrible, well, you know, take the beating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
It does. It just makes life
And-
so easy.
Um,
I take a lot of beatings,
from me.
and from a lot of people, from a lot of people.
So I wanted to also go into a little bit about the spiritual connection of our relationship. But before I do, I just wanted to say, basically, Danny's his own person. Nobody can tell him what to do. And if he doesn't want to do something, he won't do it.
Yes, dear.
Except me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm kidding. But so I wanted to say that I love it when people comment sometimes, and I love these comments. You have a lot of fans, people that stick up for you, which I love. You have quite a fandom going, but you've also got a bit of a bromance going on with some of the guys out there who empathize with you or
Hey
sympathize
guys, how's
with
it going?
and so, you know, we have like when we did the cooking video and you were doing all the grunge work in the background, and you had these guys saying, poor Danny does all the work and you get all the credit, or when you're doing other stuff, you know, with the birthday video or the photo where you were wearing the Christmas jacket, we have people saying, oh my God, look at the things you make poor Danny do. So the thing is, I think it's great that you guys side up with Danny because it makes me laugh when I read comments like that, so don't stop. But
you hear that? All you guys are being laughed at.
no,
you heard that,
I
right?
giggle at those because it's so cute.
You're all being giggled at.
It's adorable to see them sticking up for you like that. But I just wanted people to know that Danny doesn't do anything he doesn't want to do. But having said that, he is a really good sport. That's one of the things I love about you, is that you're
yes.
always game to do fun things.
Yes, this is true.
Okay, shall we talk about a little bit about the spiritual side?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a couple of some great comments. Couple name, Danita. So obvious, but fantastic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
actually going into your spiritual aspects, there are a couple people who are saying they've been married for 30 years, 50 years, and just how hard it can be sometimes, but how they're so glad they've stuck it out. And I think you're probably going to go into this, but, you know, we're in an age where in most cultures, you don't have to stay married anymore. Like divorce is prevalent. It's really a choice. So I guess that leads to the spiritual connection.
Yeah, it is a choice. For us, it's always been a choice because we don't have kids that bind us together, or it has always been a choice to be together. We didn't even need the piece of paper that tells us we're married. We actually did that for our parents because we made the decision that we wanted to be together. But I would say there's definitely a spiritual connection, and we were meant to be together. I feel that our purpose in life is tied together. What would you like to say about that? Because I've said a lot about that in the past and in my books and stuff.
Oh, I would just concur with Anita. I mean, at the end of the day, I think deep in your core, you know. I mean, I'm not really I'm not really much of a talker.
You're a doer.
I'm perhaps eloquent in the few things that I do say, but I'm not really much of a talker. Yeah, as Anita says, I have a sign upstairs on the bureau which basically says, you know, talk very little, do, and you know, let your work speak.
It says
speak
it's
for
something
you.
like, yeah, talk little and let success speak for you.
Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that. I'm more of a just get on and just do it. Yeah, I don't need the kudos. I don't need the I don't need the people waving flags at me. We're just happy when something that I'm doing works. You know, and that for me is what you know, sparks me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, but what I loved is many years ago when we were dating, you actually said that from the first time we met, you recognized me.
Yes,
that's what
absolutely.
you said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when we started dating,
Mm-hmm.
and I had just come away from a freshly broken engagement, arranged engagement.
You were engaged?
Sorry you had to find out this way, darling.
What I'm hearing is you were a rebound.
No.
Yeah,
No, not it. So I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
I like that.
Oh, God,
I'm going to get
no.
the t-shirt now. Rebound.
That's not
Okay, but finish your story because we've got a lot of great questions.
Okay.
So I want to, answer
Okay.
some of these too.
So I wasn't ready to get into a relationship. In other words, I didn't want the rebound situation. So that's why I did not date Danny from the onset until I was ready. But when he told me he recognized me from the first time he met me, that really moved me. It really touched me. And you stayed in touch with me because you actually said, I will wait for as long as it takes for you to be ready.
Oh,
So
that's
that
so
was so
romantic.
sweet, which is so lovely.
So romantic. Wait, what do you mean you recognized her? Like a spiritual connection or
Very much so. It was definitely a spiritual
like a
type of
past
thing.
life or just her energy, everything?
Yeah, I mean, it was... okay. I'm going to go off on a tangent here for a few minutes and draw on something that's probably happened to everybody at some point in their life. You are sitting, standing in a room, and all of a sudden, you just sense somebody has walked into a room. It may well be a famous artist, personality, singer, movie, whatever, or it just may be a very the Dalai Lama or Anita Moorjani or walks into a room, right? You don't even see them; you just sense them as being there. Much the way babies sense, their parents' presence in the house or not in the house. Your pet senses your presence from half a mile away coming home. It was very much that type of thing. It was beyond our five senses. It was in the sixth sense. Just a recognition of energy.
Aw.
If that makes any sense.
Yes, it makes lots of sense.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
that actually leads nicely into some questions people are asking, which is, one, if you're a spiritual person, do you need to have a spiritual partner? And do you feel like you can lose your spiritual connection with your partner?
So first of all, you don't need to have a spiritual partner. And it just depends on your path in this life. And it depends. Also, we always have free will, always. You can choose to go solo. And it also depends what your soul chose before it came here. What was its intention? What is your purpose? And I obviously needed a spiritual partner because I know for me, I would not have made it through the illness, the cancer, if Danny wasn't there, like really literally holding my hand through the journey. So it would have been really challenging. And I also know that when I was on the other side, there was this knowing that I have a purpose, and the purpose was linked with his purpose that also drew me back. So, but everybody's story is different. So I don't think everybody needs a spiritual partner. I know a lot of people who've chosen to go solo because it works for them. And they feel they can go much further, much faster if they're not tied to somebody. So you have to really just follow your heart and do what works. I forgot what the second part of that question was.
The second one, I just want to interject it because you actually answered someone else's question by saying sometimes it's faster for you to go solo. And I think there's so much pressure in this world to like a romantic movie. It's like, find your partner.
Yeah.
You're incomplete. And it's like, no, your soul might have been thinking, I don't need anyone. I need to focus on myself. And maybe instead of being like, oh, I'm so sad I'm not dating, be like, oh, I can put this love into myself. And
100%.
Really wonderful.
It's 100%. Yes.
Can I interject at this juncture and perhaps ask for everyone just to consider a three-dimensional understanding of spiritual partner, because it seems that in this current context, a spiritual partner seems to be a spouse or a significant other in one's life. But can a spiritual partner at the same time, without necessarily being a spouse, be your best friend, your childhood friend? Could it be a gym buddy? Could it be your next door neighbor?
True.
Could it be your dog, your cat, your canary?
Someone just said that. They said, can it not necessarily be romantic, but a soul friend?
Yes.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I think that perhaps if we take this and turn it sideways and look at it as 3D,
Excellent point.
then it's very, very much a case of like, so what is a soul partner?
Yeah.
Right? Could your soul partner well be somebody that, happens to be on the other side of the planet that you meet on Zoom once a week for a corporate meeting,
Oh, so, and so that's a really, really good point.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought, like, okay, we all look at these things, very, very flat, but let me poke some holes in that theory, as
you do.
as I want to do, and turn it sideways and look at it from another angle.
In that context, you could have many spiritual partners.
Yeah.
So for clarity, are we talking about a specific romantic partner or generally spiritual partners? Because I feel in this context, I actually feel I have lots of spiritual partners that I feel I'm connected to spiritually. I feel Abby, she's really changed the game for me coming into my life. And so, and my entire team, they have been amazing. And my friends, oh my gosh, the friends I've made since I've come here, it really changed my experience of being here. So it's, I feel that all of them were divine interventions,
Indeed.
Spiritual connections,
Indeed,
every single person in my circle right now.
Indeed.
Yeah. So a lot of people are commenting like, oh, my mom was my spiritual partner. Now they guide me from the other side. My grandmother's my spiritual partner.
Indeed.
Yes, exactly.
Indeed.
And I know people who are single in my circle of friends who are so fulfilled that they don't have room for a partner in that sense, for a single partner. But their life is so full with doing good work in the world, which they love to do. It's their passion. And their life is filled with friends who we call soulmates. And so it's all of us are spiritual partners. Now, the other question I remember is that can you lose your spiritual partner? Yeah. I would say you would never actually lose them, but in the three-dimensional sense, it could come across as a loss, like maybe through death, but they would still be on the other side communicating with you and guiding you. The other thing is if you split up from somebody, even though they may not be in your physical life anymore, their energetic imprint or what it was that they came here to do for you, that will always be with you and it will always be part of your trajectory in this life. So it's not possible to lose the energetic imprint, even though in this physical three-dimensional plane, they may not exist, but in your 4-5-dimensional self, they're still there. Their imprint is still affecting who you are today. That's how I would put it.
That's nice. Someone actually just asked, what are your zodiacs? And is it you and Danny who have like kind of complementary zodiacs too? I can't remember.
Yes, I'm Pisces, he's Scorpio.
So water signs, but then your moon is in Gemini?
Yeah, and one of them is in Gemini.
Do you remember? We did this for you.
We did this, yeah.
Do you remember yours, Danny?
I've totally forgotten.
I keep my moon in my pants, but...
Okay, because they were like complementary and
But also Scorpios and Pisces they actually are a really good match.
Both water signs make
Both
sense.
water signs.
The Scorpios, of course, as we all know, are warm, loving, caring, sensitive, compassionate, and humble, especially our humility.
Yes,
Oh, no.
very humble.
Very.
You're known far and wide for your humility.
Exactly.
Actually, you're known far and wide for your hamburgers.
Yeah, this is also true.
He does make the best hamburgers that anyone we know has ever tasted, and they all come here for hamburgers.
Very true.
So, yes, your humility.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So I'm reading some questions now. But one that we had earlier was, because you guys went through so much together, obviously, well, number one, people want to know how old you were when you met. So how long have you been together, or like what age were you when you met? And then because you went through so much together, obviously the cancer journey, the dying, like coming back, do you feel like that has strengthened your relationship?
Oh, it strengthened it for sure.
Yeah.
We were in our late 20s when we met, like late 20s.
Still babies.
Yeah. But we didn't get married or start dating right away. I was still, getting over. Oh, so here's a little funny story. Because of what I'd been through with my culture of arranged marriage, and my name was, I guess, what's a good word?
Mud.
Name was Mud. Yeah. I was ostracized from my community and all of that stuff for running away from an arranged marriage, and all the people, the parents of young men were saying, "We're not letting that woman go near our son," and so on. I told my parents, "I'm not going to marry an Indian man anyway, so stop looking for me. Stop, looking for a match. I'm just going to go get a job and do my thing now." So I had decided there's no way I'm going to marry an Indian man.
Pretty sure that's the beginning of a Hallmark movie. Independent woman, living in the city, working for a big firm. I'm never getting married.
Working for a big firm.
Exactly. And then they go back to their hometown, and it's the Christmas Hallmark movie trope. Come on. Yeah, exactly. Small town guy. Yeah.
That's the right music.
Yeah, right, okay.
and Danny's parents were trying to get him married and setting up arranged marriage scenarios for him as well. And he said, "I don't want to have an arranged marriage. I may not even marry an Indian woman because, we'd both grown up in going to British schools, but different schools in Hong Kong. And so he told his parents, "Don't bother to find me somebody." And he was dating people that were outside of our culture. So he declared he's not going to be limited to an Indian woman. I declared I'm not going to marry an Indian man. And then we met each other, and he was like, "Oh, I recognize her." He said he actually knew from the first day he met me that I was the woman he wanted to marry. That's also another thing he said.
Aww.
But what was funny is that we both said we're not going to marry Indian people, and we both ended up marrying each other. But when you told your parents that you were in love with me and you wanted to marry me, your parents actually said, "But she's the one who ran away from a marriage. She's got a mind of her own." And you told them, "That's why I love her."
That's good.
So I thought that was really sweet.
And because you were very, very comfortable with Sunday roast. Now, it was roast beef and Yorkshire pudding.
We were so British. We grew up in a British colony, and now we've become so Americanized.
My accent has changed. My accent now is like pure Californian.
No, it's not.
Nobody can tell
Speaking,
that I've had a British upbringing, or that I've gone to a British school.
yes, they can.
Nobody can tell.
You sound so British.
Ask the audience out there. Don't I sound pure Californian? You'd never be able to tell
No.
that I'd had any connections with the United Kingdom.
Oh gosh.
No,
Okay.
no.
So I'm going to ask you 2 more questions,
Abby
and
did
then
not
we're
answer
going to
that.
call.
You
I'm
said-
just ignoring you. Okay. Number 1.
I got completely
Do you
ignored.
believe that you can manifest the true love of your lives? And then after that, what do you think about twin flames? Do you have any?
Okay, so manifesting the true love of your life. I think that if the focus has to be on who you are and not on the person that you're trying to manifest. The more that you focus on what a mistake a lot of people make, and I want to say women make this mistake more than men do. Women actually change their behavior to attract somebody who they think they want. And so they try to manifest the person, and they also will do all these things like change themselves, enhance things. Now, it's okay to do any of the things you want to do, but do it for yourself. Don't do it to manifest someone. Don't do it to attract someone. Don't do it for the other person. Don't do things to yourself for the other person. Do things to yourself for yourself, and become the person you want to be, to attract the person who will be attracted to who you really are. Before I go into the next question, I can already anticipate a question that people are going to have for me. And it's that if I'm saying become the person that you want to be, become the person who authentic in yourself to attract, to manifest the person that's right for you, people are going to say, yeah, but I was a people pleaser then. I wasn't the person who I'm supposed to be and all. So at the time that I met Danny and was dating Danny, I was at my most authentic for that time. Up until that time, I was actually being groomed for an arranged marriage, ended up attracting somebody in an arranged situation who I was saying yes to and people pleasing, but knew in my heart was absolutely not my type. But then I rebelled. After it was over, I rebelled. The whole society ostracized me, and I rebelled, and my true colors really showed at that time. And that was when I was really into Cyndi Lauper and everything. And that was when Danny became attracted to me. So allow yourself to really become who you are.
And that's so perfect too, because it's like the only thing you can do is be the best version of you in this moment. And sure, you're a totally different person now than you were then, but it's still like your authentic self is shining through, and that's all that matters, and it will grow when given the space to grow. So great.
Exactly.
Love that answer.
Great.
Twin flames. Next question.
Okay, so twin flames is a term that seems to mean different things to different people. So that's an issue I have when people use terms like twin flames, soulmates, and when people say to me, so what's your opinion on these things? So I don't really, in all honesty, have an opinion on these. It just depends what you label things. You know, for example, one of the things that I've always said is people use the word soul and spirit intermittently. For me, a soul is a person who is a living person in 3D. They're physically alive, and your soul is what is expressing through you. So I refer to a soul as the soul of a living person. A spirit is a disembodied soul, a soul that's not living at the moment, and I refer to them as a spirit. So I like to clarify whenever I use terms like that. So in terms of twin flames, soulmates, I guess the way I would see it is that a twin flame is almost like two people, maybe we're twin flames. It's like two people that have a shared mission, that have a shared life. A soulmate, I think, are people that come in and out of your life with whom they have an integral part in contributing to your purpose and contributing to your energy field and contributing to you being who you are, but they may not be in your life forever. So that's how I would differentiate, and that's what, to me, what a twin flame is. And so in that context, yes, it's possible to have twin flames, but it's not necessary for your partner, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend to be a twin flame. That's not necessary. Real quick, just a fun fact about us. One of the things that really connects us is our backgrounds are so similar. Our parents are from the same province in India, the part of India that's now Pakistan. Neither of us have ever lived in India. We both grew up in Hong Kong, British schools. And we both speak 3 languages, an Indian dialect called Sindhi, a Chinese dialect called Cantonese, because we grew up in Hong Kong, and we both learned to speak British at school. 3 languages. Whenever we're traveling, we mix up our languages. And it's easy enough, like if we're in Europe, to speak in Cantonese to each other, but one day when we were in a checkout line at a grocery store in France, speaking in Cantonese, there was a Chinese person right behind us in line who started to laugh and said, hey, how come you guys speak Cantonese? So now what we do is we mix things up. We mix up phrases, like we'll do 3 Indian words and then 3 Chinese words, and then 3 Indian words and 2 Chinese words, and we mix it up so no one understands us but only when we're speaking in private, when we're traveling, not, of course, to be rude to people. Okay, I just wanted to share that.
Okay, I think that this has been a great conversation. One thing is say a few words in Cantonese. I would like to hear I love you in Cantonese, your dialect of Indian, and I mean, I guess English is the third one, so that's not as exciting. But I want to hear those.
Ngo oi ne.
Yeah, very much so. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you say it in Indian?
In Sindhi specifically,
In
not
Sindhi.
not Hindi.
How do you say it in Sindhi?
Yeah, go ahead.
Pyar.
Pyar. Pyar hai.
Is it pyar hai?
Yeah, pyar hai.
I don't know. Something like that. Something like that.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
For all the Sindhi speakers out there, you can write back to us and tell us how we actually should have said it.
We sometimes mix up Hindi and Sindhi, and for those who don't know, Sindhi is a dialect of a province. Hindi is the national language of India.
And Anita's Sindhi is far superior to mine.
Hardly.
I can do the accent much better than her, but the actual linguistics, the expert. Same with Cantonese. I can do the accent, but this is the linguistics expert.
Hardly. But thank you. Okay. So thank you all for tuning in. Did we have some announcements?
Yes, we got plenty of announcements, actually.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
in that case,
Yes.
I'm going to leave you and you and you with these announcements while I go that way.
Oh, you really want to leave the screen?
Well, I mean, do you need me for announcements?
I guess not.
Unless you need me to do the closed captioning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But since I can't actually sign, I'm utterly useless.
You'll just do the translations in Cantonese, Hindi, English.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I tell you what I could do.
Yes.
I could do the psychic translations.
Yes, you could.
But I can do it from off camera as well.
Yes, good. Okay.
Bye.
I'll see you in a minute. Announcements. So first of all, we are opening my online platform, the Sanctuary, the Anita Moorjani Sanctuary, on January 11th. So please, please check in after January 11th. It's a membership platform for you to be immersed in a marinade where you can feel uplifted and positive, and whenever you feel this world is getting you down and there's too much negativity in mainstream media, you can immerse yourself in uplifting, positive stories and in my sanctuary and change your marinade. So that's one. The other thing is I will be speaking in San Diego next weekend at the Consciousness, I know it's TCCHE, and it's at the Wyndham Hotel in San Diego. And the links we'll include the links here on this thread and on my website. But next month, I will be speaking here in Los Angeles at the Conscious Life Expo. I'd love for you to join me there. Conscious Life Expo with lots of other speakers, but please join me there in the middle of next month.
And you've got 3 different events there.
Yes, I've got 3 different events there. I will be on a panel discussion with George Nouri. Then I will be speaking on sensitivity, on empaths and sensitivity and the importance of it and how sensitivity is the new strong. And then the third one will be where I will be speaking about the view from the other side, and I will be taking you on a guided journey through your own near-death experience. And remember, live events always have more energy than the videos, because we are in a room full of like-minded people, all sending and emitting and admitting and sending energy to each other. So please join me at live events whenever and wherever you can. I look forward to doing more live events this year. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, like, subscribe, whatever, depending on what platform you're in. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.